What's up, ATU, and welcome to AT Live. My name's Keegan.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Mary, and we are your ATU Live co-hosts.
Thank you all so much for tuning in to our 5th episode of our 6th season of ATU Live. March is actually International Women's Month, and we have some super special guests joining us today to discuss that. But first, Keegan is going to tell us what is going on campus this week.
Let's get right to it. Well, y'all, we have some very interesting things going on campus this week. First of all, early registration for summer, fall, and winter 2023 begin Wednesday, March 1st. So remember that. And then also don't forget that the early bird gets the room. So apply for housing as soon as possible to get your preferred room. Early bird gets the room. Remember that. Also, this Saturday on March 11th, our women's softball will be competing against OBU at Chartwell's Sports Complex. So pull up to that. And also on Saturday, the men's baseball team will be competing against OBU in Arkadelphia. So if you want to make the trip, there you go. Also, don't forget to pay attention to the key phrase this episode and to comment on the corresponding Instagram reel for this episode. It's going to be a really good episode, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.
All right, well, thank you so much, Keegan. Today we have some super important guests here to discuss International Women's Month with us. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Morgan. It's nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you. So, Morgan, what does it mean to you to be a woman?
I think what I would say it means to be a woman is to be able to uplift your sisters. I think in any environment that you're in, or even like if you disagree, like uplifting your sister, even in disagreement. I think what's important is that as women, we fight with each other and for each other.
Yeah, that's so true.
Wow. See, we're already fighting for one another and with one another. We're just in sync because we're all women. So why do you think it's so important that we actually celebrate International Women's Month?
I think that it's important because it's a way to like include every group of people, and especially for women who maybe are outside of like a normal what you would think of a woman, and to like encourage everyone to be who they are in their individuality, but also like just to bring them in like a family.
How do you feel like being a woman, do you feel like being a woman like affects your daily life? And how do you feel like it affects your daily life?
I would say I don't consciously think about how being a woman would affect my life. I guess maybe in ways when I get pulled over, I never get a ticket. But other than that, I really don't know that it would. I think maybe in my classes, my professors can sometimes be more lenient because I'm a mother. But other than that, I think it just doesn't really affect me like throughout my day as much as I like can consciously think about it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, in honor of International Women's Month, our keyword this week is girl power. So don't forget to go comment that and get entered to win. And also, you mentioned being a mom. So how does being a mother like affect you as a student? So how do you kind of balance that lifestyle?
I think that the most important thing is that as much as I love my education and as much as I am pursuing my education, my son will always come first. My family will always come first. There will always be a time and a way to like make up work or to like work at work. But I think when it comes to my son, I will always put him first. And so that is my balance personally. And even Tech has made a way for me to be able to be a full-time student and a full-time mom by helping me pay for daycare. So that's how I balance it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So how do you balance, like going back to talking about being a woman, how do like motherhood and womanhood go together to you?
I think that a part of what it means to be a woman is to like be able to take care of people. Not that men can't do that. I just think that that's something that women are especially good at. I think it's just like been sewed into who we are as women and as people. So I think obviously as a mother, you constantly are taking care of a whole nother being, a whole nother life. And so when that comes into womanhood, I think it translates even into the way that we take care of our brothers and in the way that we take care of our sisters and even our leaders. Like being able to see a need and meet it, I think is what it means to be a mother and a woman.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Sounds like you have some really good perspectives. So is there a specific female leader that you maybe learned these traits from or just someone that you really look up to?
Honestly, most of the women in the Bible, I would say I absolutely adore, and I try to learn as much as I can from them. The story that actually made me fall in love with the Bible is the story of Ruth and Boaz, and I think that the thing that drew me in was just Ruth's loyalty to her mother-in-law, and then her loyalty to Boaz. And yeah, there's just so much that we can learn from the people that have gone before us, and these things were like documented for a reason. And I try my best to learn from them, but obviously, like, we're human, so we also learn from our own mistakes. But yeah, I would say that reading the Bible and like gleaning from the things that I've read there have helped me to like be the woman that I am.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. So, what is your favorite thing about being a woman?
I would say going back to not getting tickets when I'm pulled over is probably one of my favorite things. In marriage, I think my favorite thing is that my husband is the leader and I'm not. I don't think I could carry that responsibility the way that he does. And I'm just there to be a helper and to guide him. And even in like friendships and stuff, I think that's my favorite part about being a woman is that I can just be a friend, and that's all that's expected from me.
That's awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to maybe share with our audience? Any like quick tips or anything like that?
I guess I would just say that if you're ever doubting yourself, just choose to believe the best in yourself, and then from there, like, you can believe the best in other women and the best in other people. And yeah, just remember like who you're made to be is just you. You don't have to try to be anything other than yourself.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, so we have some new guests to discuss International Women's Month with us. Why don't you each go ahead and just go down the line and introduce yourselves?
My name is Laura Palmer. I am Assistant Dean for Residence Life in charge of Housing Services.
I'm Jessica Craybaugh, Assistant Dean for Residence Life Facilities Operations.
And I'm Kate Carter, Administrative Specialist for Residence Life.
Thank you guys so much for being here. So, what does it mean to y'all to be a woman?
It means to have the potential to create life.
I think that's a good answer. I think what it means to be a woman is really knowing that I can do anything that I want and I set my mind to, even if it means breaking down some barriers.
I think that being a woman is about sisterhood. It's about having an unknown connection with just any woman and having that kind of understanding without even having to say it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, as women, why do you think it's important to celebrate International Women's Month?
I think celebrating being a woman is something that should be done from an early age. I think that a lot of times, especially going through puberty and early adulthood for women, is kind of a scary thing to do. And so being able to lean on your fellow sisters and being able to know that as a woman, that means that you're powerful and that you're strong and that you can do anything that you want to do. It's something that you have to learn, I think, very, very early on. And so go women. You know?
I think celebrating women is important just in general, but also women celebrating women. Sometimes there can be competition involved instead of empowering each other. And I think that International Women's Month is a good time to remind ourselves of how we can build each other up.
I think it's important because it's a reminder of, like they said, you know, all of these things we get to do that perhaps people may not be expecting you know, to be able to do, but yet we get the privilege of raising a family, if we want to, right? Raising a family and also working and doing whatever we want, you know. So I think it's important to, like they said as well, since we are children, to instill that into young ladies that, you know, it's not a burden, but it's rather a privilege, a great honor, and it has a great impact in society as well.
Absolutely. So, do you feel that being a woman impacts your daily life? And if so, how do you feel that impacts your daily life?
Well, Uh, as a woman with 3 children, it's like it has an hour by hour impact, because I have 3 children, and so now I have to learn how to manage raising the kids, and then fulfilling my responsibilities as a wife, and then as a worker, as a colleague, and so being mindful of all of those things, it's just a big responsibility.
I think for me, kind of more on the work side, being a woman in on the facilities side of everything, it impacts my life because I have to be aware of what other people's perceptions of me in that space may be, and how I carry myself in that space, while also feeling confident and encouraged in knowing what I know and presenting in that way, and not if I do have any type of self-doubt because I'm going into a room with a bunch of men for a construction meeting. I try to be careful not to show that, but also being okay with asking questions to have a better understanding, to show them I am here, I am in the room, and I do know things.
I think being a woman and how it impacts my daily life is very broad. And the aspect of being a mom and the expectations that come with that are, just like Laura said, can change hour by hour. Being a mother is a very demanding thing. There's a lot of high expectations. And then when you come to work, or at least I personally have this attitude that I may be a woman, but I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to do what I can, and I'm going to show you that I can do it better with the heels on. And so being able to show up and having certain expectations in society for what women can and can't do, and then having a can-do attitude and saying, no, watch, I'm going to do it. And yeah, every day.
So funny story. When I was 14, I learned to play the drums. And yes. So it was really weird. I asked, actually, the guy who played the drums at church is where I played, and he said it wouldn't look good for a woman to play drums. Oh. And I said, well, I believe I have been gifted, and watch me.
That's right.
And watch me.
That's right.
So, without being prideful, we are all gifted in different ways. And some of us might have strong leadership abilities, play the drums, I don't know, work in construction, that maybe some people kind of, put you in a box and say, no, women can do that. But I think if you have been gifted to do that, just use it, right?
Yes.
And do your best.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely relate to you all because my major is kinesiology and it's super male dominated, and it can get kind of intimidating, like walking into construction meetings. But for me, it's like walking into the gym to power lift, and these men are lifting like 3 times my body weight, and I'm like have the bar and like maybe a 25-pound plate on each side. So I'm like maybe lifting 100 pounds, and these men are like snatching upwards of 300 pounds, and I just can't. But like, I still deserve to be there, because even though it's like not a lot compared to them, that's a lot compared to my body weight. But anyway, you guys kind of touched on this already with the last question, but how do you maintain a healthy balance of like home life and the expectations of a woman as a mother or an aunt or just a daughter or just a woman in general at home and in society, and then also like the professional side of things? Like how do you balance that? How do you differentiate, compartmentalize? Do you compartmentalize?
Well, I would like to say I compartmentalize, but it doesn't always work that way. It takes some experience, right? Because at first we can be really, well, this is the line of work, and this is the line of family, and this is the line of, all my personal business, but and I hate to bring it back, but the pandemic taught us that those lines can blur a lot. And during the pandemic, it was all at once, everything at the same time. I just think we need to learn to have grace with ourselves and a lot of patience, and then just learn to take care of ourselves, our mental, our physical, our spiritual aspect, and then just be patient with each other.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Laura said. I think for me, I can be so work focused a lot. Like it's just how I've always been. Some might say it's connected to my zodiac sign, but I don't get that deep into that. So I think for me, it has been about finding things outside of work that I enjoy, and being confident going into those things. I naturally fall into enjoying some of the, I guess, gender normative things for women. I love cooking. I love cooking for people. I love hosting and like that type of caregiver thing. So when I have close friends or family around me being able to do those things, I really enjoy. So part of me coming back to this area of the country recently was to be closer to my family in Kansas City because I have a 4-year-old niece. And so wanting to be a positive role model for her as well. So finding that balance is not easy. It's a very fluid thing, and some days are easier than others. But I think it's been telling myself it's okay to prioritize myself.
I definitely agree with a bit of what both of y'all had to say. I definitely think finding a good work-life balance as a woman is something that a lot of people don't talk about. Women typically have more things to prioritize. I think especially entering the professional environment, especially whenever you have a family. And I think it's something that you really just have to learn to set certain boundaries. It definitely is something that is very, very fluid. It changes frequently. You don't know how often it's going to change. But giving yourself that grace to say, hey, no, this is okay. I need to take a step back on this, and I need to put my family first, or, and especially being a young professional and wanting to excel and wanting to take those big steps. It's really hard to be able to take those boundaries, but it's definitely necessary. And with experience and learning it, it comes more naturally.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that Kate and Laura, y'all are both mothers, and we talked about differentiating professionalism, home life, and everything. So now how would you say that like motherhood and womanhood tie together?
I think that womanhood and motherhood really, I think, is womanhood in a sense. It's something that it's really, really empowering. Being able to create life and to take that person and help them grow, and without getting emotional, it's just something that it's kind of an innate part of your being. It's something that I think that, not to pick sides, but I think only women can do it. Only women can go and put their heart on their sleeve and wipe the snot off and get up and go to work and succeed and be proud at the end of the day for everything. So
I agree with Kate. Yeah, gosh, that's a really good question. Yeah, I believe that as women, we have been given certain attributes. It's kind of in our DNA, the way in which we have been made. And only us can do certain things, cry your eyes out and then get up and go do what you need to do, or discipline your child and then, the next time you're hugging them, loving them and setting them on to what they need to do and forget about this the following day, and so they're just really connected. You cannot be, I don't think you cannot be a mother without being a woman, right? You certainly can choose not to, and it's we're free to do so, That's right. Yeah, it's not everybody is called to be a mother. Not everybody feels that need, and not everybody is given that opportunity in life as well. But we are all women, and so we have that in common.
Yeah. You talked about like you know, fitting into like the stereotype. And I feel like I fit so much into like the stereotype of a woman. Like I'm going to be an English teacher. I love cooking. It's like my favorite hobby. I would love to have a bunch of kids and be a stay-at-home mom. But I'm thankful that I have like the choice to do that and I can be respected doing that. And other women can have the choice to not do that and be respected not doing that.
Yeah, that is a very good point. You know, I know that many, and I heard from other people, and I hear it in my children. You know, I look forward to having many children and getting married, and you know, already planning the wedding and all of that. and I didn't have those dreams growing up. I didn't think, oh, I'm gonna have 5 children and get married. Mine was like, I'm gonna be a professional and do ABC and go off and do that, and then I was given the gift of marriage and children, you know, along the way, but it's not any less, you know, it's not, we shouldn't diminish each other if we choose not to do, you know, have a family, or if we choose to have it. It's equally important.
Well, I agree with Laura. I also was like, no, I just want to be a woman, and I want to be like a woman in business. But like specifically, I wanted to like be a coach. I wanted to be just like Pat Summitt. And if you don't know who she is, go look her up. She's one of my female leaders that I really admire. But I was the same way. But now, got that ring, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to be a wife and hopefully eventually a stay-at-home mom and bake bread and grow produce, because I just think that'd be really fun to just do that, you know. But speaking of female leaders, do you guys have a female leader or role model? And it can be like a professional person that you've never met, like for me, Pat Summitt, or it can be your mom or your sister or yourself.
My answer for this has always been my mom, actually, and like, she's not the person I call every day. Like, we're not BFFs or anything in that way. So it surprises people when I'm like, no, my mom is for sure the female person that inspires me the most. She went back to college when I was in like middle school or something, and she's actually an electrician and has been doing that for the past like 25 years. And we always clash because like I have a psychology bachelor's degree. I have a counseling and student affairs master's. And so our brains were never on the same wavelength ever. And now I'm on the facility side, and I've like definitely gotten more experience with that over the last 5 or 6 years. And knowing that what she has gone through on the workplace for the last couple of decades, and seeing how resilient she is and how strong and how respected she is in a very male-dominated place has always been inspiring to me to be an independent woman, which is why I don't need to call her every day. And it's not bad when you want to call your mom every day. But like, it's just kind of how I was raised, and she had always empowered me to be a very strong woman and person, and to stand up for myself, to advocate for others. So now, more than ever, being more into the facility side of things, really pulling out that strength that she gave me, and sometimes calling her more. I'm like, well, this happened today, or what does this mean? Because I don't want to ask in this room full of guys. But yeah, so my mom has always been the most inspirational woman in my life.
I think for me, one of the most inspiring women that I have in my life is also a family member. She's my grandmother. She was a single mom for 20 years. She raised 2 boys by herself with no help, no child support, no government assistance. She worked dirty jobs. She worked what she could get. She did a lot of physical labor, and the fact that she did that while raising 2 boys and raised them to be exceptional fathers, and you know, they are some of the most respectful men that I know. And just the fact that she was able to go through all of that while dealing with, you know, male-dominated workplaces. She dealt with some assault issues that she had in the workplace with coworkers, and to be able to do that and then come home to your kids and to be the best mom that she could be and to raise 2 great young men is just amazing to me. It's something that just, such a good woman.
Mine is a mix of both of theirs. I come from a line of strong women as well. I have had two strong grandmothers on each side of the family, and they both were widows at a very when their children were really young, and one of them had to raise her 4 children, and the other one had 6 children, and they had to make a way to raise their family. And so they set an example of strength and perseverance and faith. And, they have always told us, you can do whatever you set your mind to. If that's what you want to do, go do it. We always had 100% of their support. And my mother, of course, as well. She raised 5 children. She tried to work early in her career, and it was really hard back. It was late 80s. She tried to bring her kid to work. She was teaching in an institute and was told, hey, you cannot do that. And she had to quit because she couldn't afford daycare for 4 children. And, so times are changing, but I have had, and we have had great examples of strength and perseverance, and I hope that it can only get better.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I mentioned, my professional is Pat Summit, but my relational, I guess, would be my mom as well. She was a stay-at-home mom. She was a homemaker for the majority of my early childhood life, but then she ended up getting a job at the school where I grew up, and it was a small school. So she was she worked with upper level, mid-level education, I guess. It's 5th and 6th grade. But she was always around because it was such a small school. Our campus was all on one, K through 12th was all together. But she didn't really differentiate between professional life and home life because she got a job where her kids were. And so it was but then not only did she take on the role of being a mother and a caregiver to me, she was also that for my friends and for my teammates and my classmates and even kids that she didn't really know. If she saw them and they were, crying in the hallway, she would take care of them and get them to the therapist's office or to our nurse's office or whatever. But yeah, she was awesome, and she also really built me up as a Christian too. I think she gave me some really good morals and ideals, and really just instilled good disciplines into me of what it means to be strong and what it means to fight in the face of adversity. So what about you, Em?
Mine is definitely my mom. She only has 2 biological children, me and my brother. But I feel like she has so many children because so many of my friends from high school, my friends even from college, where we don't live in the same town, but they still see her. They still will be like everyone calls her Mama McLean because that's her last name. Everyone calls her that because there's so many people, so many of my friends see her as a mom. And she just, she was a single mom for a lot of my childhood and very, just sacrificed so much so that I and eventually my brother could have, just a great life and a great childhood. She is a really, really amazing woman, a great mother. What is your favorite thing about being a woman?
I think we get to do things that people might think we are not capable of.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna say. I feel like, and maybe it's the privilege of growing up in the time that I have, but I really do feel like I can do anything. So yeah.
I definitely agree with both of y'all. I think in the past several decades, I think the movement around women has only gotten bigger. I think for the longest time the stereotype was that women couldn't do certain things, and clearly we can. So definitely just getting to see the shock on people's face when you unscrew a door off of the frame and just carry it out the door. Yep, yeah, we can do that too.
I think that my favorite would be the friendship between women. I don't know what it is, but there's just something special just innately about friendship between 2 girls. It's just my favorite thing. And it just feels I don't know, I feel women can just be meet each other and you're just like, okay, well, we're going to be best friends. So unfortunately, I've decided that. And I just feel like that's unique to women, and I really love it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, little plug for whoever this girl is. I think her name's Jada, but she works at Seven Brew, and she goes to school here apparently. We met this morning, and she was like talking in the window. You know how they do at Seven Brew, and they're like all up in your business, but like in the best way. Like, like they're just like, yo, let's be besties. Well, this girl was literally telling me that. She was like, you're just so pretty. We should just be friends. So I pulled out my phone and I unlocked Instagram and I was like, be my friend right now. And so she like followed herself and then she followed me back. And now we're going to like go get coffee sometime.
Literally the amount of times that like a girl will just pop up on my Instagram feed and Keegan's like, oh, who is that? And I'm like, oh, well, okay, so like she spotted me at the gym one time and I've never seen her since, but like we're friends, just trust me.
Yeah, and you always have like those social media friends where it's like you never really get to hang out because your schedules don't match, or like you see each other at the gym, but you're actually like from totally different towns. Yeah. And so like you don't ever see each other ever again, but you comment on every single post because it's like, that's my girl right there. Yes. So is there anything, what? Go ahead. Tell her.
I think that's one of the best unkept secrets about women is how much we just continuously hype each other up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times that I've gone to the gym and just been getting ready for work, you know, after working out, and then someone will walk in and you're just
so
hyping each other up.
So
Yes,
pretty.
the endless hypes. We love it.
Yes, I love that. All right, so coming to a closing, is there anything else you would like to say, add, make a comment, questions, concerns, any tips for women, anything like that?
I would just say embrace it. You know, embrace the wonder that your body is, and the way you have been made, to care, you know, for others, even if you don't have children, even if you choose not to do that, but embrace that in, you know, all that you can do.
I think adding to that, and I think Kate kind of hit on this earlier, like emotions are okay, and it's okay, like normalizing those and not being afraid to talk about them with other women or other men or other people in general. And I'll also say, because we've talked a lot about feeling invincible in this I can do anything attitude, and I have said that, I agree with that, but also we still need to be aware of us as women. And so there are things that we have to think about sometimes, you know, like not walking down the street at night. Like there's a different perception of that, and we still have to, you know, kind of overthink our safety at times. So I think, you know, raising awareness about that, and overall just continue to celebrate ourselves, and women celebrating women and men celebrating women, and all of that, I think is just really important. And so excited to see how that continues.
I also agree with that. I think being a woman is something that should always be embraced, even though there's difficulties, and womanhood is probably in the best spot that it's been in for as long as people have been around. I think women have always been crucified, you know, in history. And so I think taking that and looking at where we are now and saying, this is great, we're going in the right direction, and continue to embrace womanhood, and yeah, hopefully it only gets better.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much once again for joining us. We really appreciate it. Great conversation. Yes. Love it. Love you, lovely ladies. Yes. Thank you. So now we're going to grab Keegan and we're going to jump back and start our game.
And I'm back. As you can see, they're over here. I'm on the couch. And now we have a very fun game that we're going to play. It's Song Association, a classic. It's been around for AT Live forever. But this time it's going to be Emily versus Mary because girl power. So I'm going to give the words and they're going to give the songs. Ready? Y'all ready?
Yes.
All right. Yes. What are we going to play to? 4? Play to 4.
Sure.
All right. First word is girl.
Girls just wanna have fun. Oh, girls just wanna have fun.
And that is a tie. That's an obvious tie. That was the
one, baby.
highest of a tie I've seen.
Lauper, the woman of women, of all women. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
English teacher,
Period.
correct it, please.
Period.
Period. That's all.
No
there is.
no mistakes detected.
No right. No right.
Y'all won't believe this, but the next word is power.
Oh, what's the
No right.
work it harder, make it faster. No, that's not.
This is stronger.
What's the Rihanna song?
What?
Rihanna and Kanye West.
All I can think of is work, and that's not even Rihanna.
Where's the power in that? So no answer for power?
Wait, hold on,
Do
hold
you
on.
have a song?
Hold on.
Oh, hold on.
Let's think.
It's
Let's
obvious.
put our women brains together.
This is obvious, right? The audience, like, this is obvious.
Hold on. Everybody stop talking.
I'll just start doing the beat. Dun, 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 dun. I got the power. Dun, dun, dun.
You don't get a point. You're not a girl.
I know, but I guess power doesn't work. So,
All right, we're still tied.
so it's still 1-1. We'll just treat that like y'all just turned it off. All right, 1-1. Next word is us.
A glimpse of us, but I don't know any of the other words.
What's the? Oh, that's the Joji song.
Sure.
Sometimes I look in her eyes,
And that's where
I find.
The glimpse of us. All right, Mary got that one. Mary got that one. So 2.
Sorry, I sang so off key, guys. Don't listen back. Just watch it once and move on. Don't talk about it.
Don't think about it.
to 1.
Don't think
Mary
about
got it. All right, your next word is going to be.
I thought it was going. I was like,
It's going to be go.
Red light says stop. Green light, let's go.
no idea.
What is it? Wait, what is it? It's y'all. I'm like brain farting today. I'm usually on my song association.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. You can't name it.
What was the word?
Go. Wow.
Let's go, girls. Dun, dun, dun,
Okay,
dun,
there you go.
dun, dun.
All right.
Like a woman. Ow!
Anyway,
Good job. 2-2.
thank you.
Oh, they're just the next word. It was a woman. Okay, hold on. Let me
Do
think.
it anyway. We'll sing that
No,
song right
no, it doesn't count. I could say it without that word, but now you
like
already
a
know. You can think about it.
woman.
So, next word.
I'm gonna kick a door down. Go ahead.
Next word is stop.
Please don't stop the. Please don't stop the music. Please don't stop the music.
Okay, this is turning into Pitch Perfect.
Are we?
Emily won that one. So
Okay.
Emily's at 3. You're at 2, Mary.
If I get this one, I win.
Oh my goodness, I'm nervy.
What did you just say? Yarby.
What did she say?
Somebody said the word nervy in our like work group chat the other day, and I like it made me cringe, but now I'm like saying it out loud.
Give you the ick.
It gave me.
Y'all are being so silly. Okay, we're going to
We're
keep
allowed
going.
to be silly. It's Women's Month.
Facts.
Period.
Facts. Celebrate us.
It's
Yes.
definitely not Keegan's birthday.
No, it's definitely not.
Off topic. Anyways.
Actually, when this airs, it really won't be.
So it's really actually not.
So it's actually not Keegan's birthday.
Anyways. Next word is live.
ATU live.
That's not a song.
Live?
Live?
Can it be life? Like with an F?
Maybe live?
Wanted, dead or alive.
No, that's one
It
word.
should count though.
No, it doesn't.
Valid.
Okay, we'll give it to you. We'll give it to you. So it's 3-3. We're
Want
3-3.
it. Want it.
This is for all the marbles.
My dad would be so proud of me.
This is for all the marbles.
Shut up, Mr. Payne.
I'm not doing ties now unless y'all both win, because that'd be kind of girl power. But anyways,
Pretty girl power.
so we got one more word, and that word is. I'll get back
Put
to
our
you on
brains
that.
Together. Let's think about
I'm gonna
it.
make it count, so I'll get back to you. right. Are y'all ready? We're back. This next word, I'm going to say it right now. We're not paying attention. The next word, the final word for all the marbles or for the tie is I'm.
I'm feeling good.
How did y'all do that in sync?
Guys, when you write a word on an iPad and then show it in this direction, we can
No.
both see the
No,
word.
actually, when you're a woman and you both have the same color hair and you put your heads like this, ow, it works. But now I have a headache, so.
There you go. The more you know. Well, y'all tied. That was pretty slay.
Shake on it. Women on 3. 1, 2, 3. Women!
Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining in. This was a very awesome, empowering episode. So it was a joy to watch and listen to. But anyways, make sure to comment the keyword on the Instagram reel that corresponds with this episode. And we'll see y'all next week when we're going to talk with small student businesses. So it's going to be sweet. See y'all later.